Hi, everybody. This is Sam Durbidge, or Samuel Durbidge, Samuel Loomis, newly awakened. I want to welcome you to my Samuel Durbidge channel for the reading of Chapter 8. So, Chapter 8 is the very powerful empathic chapter, and it has some really good information. It's really short, so it's not really that as long. I know 9 will be pretty long, similar to the way Chapter 4 was. Now, I can't say that Chapter 4 or Chapter 9 will be 5 hours like Chapter 4 was due to what happened that day. But I've noticed some new changes and new awakening and new tendencies that I've been noticing or getting drawn into. Now, I want people to understand that when I bring up this information, there's a lot of things that happen, or a lot of changes that seem to be pushed through, or seem to happen through this awareness. So bear with me as I go into it. Oh, it's like someone again is causing the whole pink liquid situation to mark the chapter locations. So here we go. So it's 131, page 131 of My Alien Perceptions of Possible Truth. 131 goes to, again, it's not very long, it goes to 137. And then chapter 9 will be a new recording that will go all the way to, I'll say it's, 138 to, so it's a really long chapter. It's a concept chapter. But it brings up a lot of concepts, a lot of theories, a lot of information that talks about water energy science and all the studies that I mentioned before, to my knowledge. But yeah, it goes all the way to 138 to 160. It also brings up a lot of religious theories and ideas and how to manifest things into being, focus, and how many scriptural teachings and ancient texts say that you focus on God, or the highest form, being above everything, and then you the kingdom first, and then the rest. I put the higher form picture of Christ above everything, the form of a picture that is connected to a belief system that I've had about Christ, that I still hold to it's a higher form Christ connection of what I saw and witnessed in 2017. But I was told that they are coming again and that other beings will come with them. But it's not really a religion or a deity to worship. It's more of just a friend or a being that promised they would come back and correct or help us remember what was told before. Because time has passed to the point of where we would have forgotten the agreements that were made, or the knowledge that was given, because of alterations and trickery of races and of society back then, trying to control and going towards the direction we've been dealing with. But now it's going to be reversed, and we're going back to what we're meant to be. So for them, they've have just been going to different realms and different realities, and they're just making this realm and taking those of us into that realm, even through the night, waking us up into this new form of reality. So I've noticed or been aware that what is happening is time alteration agreements, and they're taking us from one realm into another. And so here we go. So we're basically already into that peaceful world, or meant to be. For those that want peace, you'll be in the peaceful world. It's that simple. And so you just hold to that. I do recommend those that want to meditate and focus with me and think in that manner, we can make it happen faster based on what has been going on with all the different things throughout the realities and cosmos. So I like shows like Seventh Heaven, series or shows. I love them. Another is that's really good that I really like is Just Like Heaven, is a movie with Reese Witherspoon, and then the guy who plays the Hulk in the Avenger movies. And he's really good, and he's also in 13 Going on 30. He's the guy that likes the girl that AIDS swaps and then goes back and gets her dream life. So basically, just wish that you can have something that you're wanting, and then if you can always be aware of what it is you didn't want and correct it and go back to what you really wanted and how it will be. So it's just knowing that you can get everything you desire, that it's real, it's already what matters to you, and recognizing that you can do that. Because we've been getting things, and it's been going directions that aren't the direction we wanted, so we might as well focus on the things that we want, because it was going to a really horrible direction before. And so now you just focus on what you really want, and you get into the better direction. So I've been doing that here and there, and I noticed some interesting changes last night where it was hopping me back into one reality into another. And now I seem to be going into that peaceful realm now, where I'm back to a directional path of the most important realm, which is considered the 5D realm or fifth dimension realm, which in the fifth dimensional realm, you start to become 4D, and you communicate with more 5D individuals. And the 5Ds create that world so that we can become that fifth dimensional form that we've always been wanting. And so we've already done the realm of our choices and decisions. So now we just follow our hearts more, learn to heal more, learn what love really is, the form. And then as a 4D individual, our choice now is to know what love matters is, and to become light and wisdom. Now we're love beings, we're healing beings. And so we're basically doing what true love is, true heartfeltness is. And I was already doing that in 3D, and now I'm learning the abilities, and I've been doing light and wisdom a lot. But now what's happening is we've been doing this within the 3D. So now within the 5D, which is fourth dimension or fourth density, and then fifth density. Now, fifth density is the creative being form. And so the love form is being able to heal and create and do things like Christ did. And then once we've done what we needed in a love formational way or format way, we go directly into the 5D density level, which is we become creative angel-like beings. And then we become the archangels. That's how Metatron, the Xenic Enoch Metatron, was said to have occurred, is through being human, was given angel status based off of awareness of the realms. Now, the way that they wrote Enoch and Xenic, they talked about how the different inner bringing and different things were going on with Nephilim and stuff that were not really supposed to have occurred, and they ended up eating humanity, and it wasn't supposed to happen. So he helped stop that and correct that and bring the world its peace, became a peaceful person. His family, or Enoch's family, was said to have not been listened to that person at first, that his friends and families gave up on him, made fun of him, didn't understand him, thought badly of him, and then all of a sudden he became a better being. That's one version I've heard and seen and noticed, but regardless, that being also went to hell with other angels. The angels showed him hell and showed him heaven. Now that's the religious realm. Basically, he saw the different realms, showing where Cain was and where Abel was, and then showing where the realm of choice created them as. And so basically, these beings were thrown into places they wanted to be, or that they chose a vibration as. And to us, we see them being tortured, but to them, they enjoyed it. It's their heaven. So to them, hell is their heaven, and for us, heaven, or for them, heaven, the heaven we think is heaven, or would feel as heaven, would be a hell to those that are not peaceful vibrations. So until they want that. And so it's kind of, you can heal everybody in every realm that wants to be healed, and so the right ones were taken out of it and put in the right places. But anyway, this is where it gets interesting. So empaths and other abilities and how they connect with both alien and spiritual gifts explained. Okay, so this is page 131, and it's going to go to page 137. Pretty cool. Okay, so many of us have spiritual gifts. Many believe that some of those gifts are controlled by evil forces, or they're gifts that backfire and cause harm, affect the person from healing is not a gift, but a curse of evil. I want to clear up this misconception of this understanding. First, whatever we think just causes more of that thinking to appear. So why not think open-mindedly and have belief in hope rather than fear? When we don't understand something or don't want to or think opposite from another person, we don't always think that will harm them. However, it can. It's not our fault. At the same time, once we recognize others that deal with sensitivity of feeling in different ways, as well as hearing thoughts and having amazing wisdom, we learn that we all have gifts. Some of these gifts are even coveted by extraterrestrial beings, both alien and human alike. Many of them were even people that got abducted from their own worlds, as well as ours, and then turned into something new through surgery or DNA changing, or through absorbing food or something. Many even were born this way, and because of this, are now liked. That's interesting. And wanted. That is somehow connected to alien abduction, is what some people researched. Yeah, there's some interesting thing there. Go into something here. Yeah, so basically there's so much going on. And I wanted to mention that it's your focus of what you feel you are, what you feel is destined for you or allowed for you. And then when you do things to others, you cause the same directional path to you. But focusing on what you want and thinking as though you're in the realm you want to be in is one of the best focuses you could possibly do. Let's go on page 132 here. So we're going to go at the top there where it says, so to start off. So to start off, let me mention also that extraterrestrials can actually work on our impressions and spiritual feelings, as well as the secret government and those that connect with its tech. I, as the secret, as tech, yeah, so I am not mentioning this to bring fear to you, but to let you know what I have noticed and recognized from my first experience that inspired me to write this book. My intentions of this book basically changed throughout this year, and now I know why. I know in my heart and choice that I care for all life and all salvation for all, no matter if it's this earth or other planets, alien beings or whatever. Their true being names are, since there are many that are good and many that are neutral and many that are evil. Just like humans, all races have intentions due to their choice of being. I realized that I became part of an abduction due to possibly to make me able to follow a path of their decision through the decisions I chose to follow. At the same time, they're able to use all of us in the way of our choices. Now, I recognize that my ears and my nose and my sight increased at times and even dulled at times. After my first 6 months or even year of abduction, now it seems I don't recognize if they even come anymore. But my brain still remembers and notices things at times. Now, if some are from the future, it's possible it was for them to help me write this book, or to follow a path, or to learn. And regardless, why I choose to do the things that matter for all of us, and it's to help each of us. As I recognize these things, some of these things frightened me, and even then some of the things intrigued me and even annoyed me. Either way, I know all that I lost I will gain back. I'm not worried about why. I just focus on healing and using what I have. And I did worry, even though I said I didn't worry. That was me basically worrying, trying to focus on not being worried. And I actually have a lot more peace than I did back then. Regardless of things that I've noticed has happened, it's changing. We're always going into different realms all the time. I recognize energy around me that interferes with tech, phones, and others things, as well as my own body affecting things. At the same time, they provided me with new gifts. Also, it seems they want to reuse these gifts for others at the same time. Instead of being afraid, I decided I will be truly brave. Then I also chose to not fear and then cheer for others recently. Oh, I do a lot more than that. Now I'm ready to like heal and manifest and do all sorts of stuff with anybody open to it. And the sooner that we all do that together and are open to it, the better life will happen. And you'll realize that when the 5D, those in the 5-dimensional awareness, you'll know that that is what will be taught to do in that 5D reality, or recognizes is what I'm been telling people we need to do for one another. So those in the 5D reality, or those who feel and think that they're going to be in the 5 density as a 4th density individual, the love vibrational, you're going to get light and wisdom from the light and wisdom beings about meditation and thought focus that I've already figured out myself. And I've been teaching and letting them be aware of it because they let me be aware of it, and they're happy of me sharing this to people. They know that I need to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm connected to this knowledge. But I've learned how to do it unconditionally, and that we can do this together, and how important it is. And so those of you who feel and think you're already 4th density, 5th density connected, the Ra-Lab 1 connection, they bring that up on Gaia and Cosmic Disclosure connected people, but some of them took it from other people's information, and there's a lot of questioning and trickery going on. What I do want people to know is they're making fun of individuals that don't necessarily need to be made fun of, but those people have been making fun of people too. So those are the wrong vibrations. But if they really are about true peace, and they wouldn't be making fun, or they would forgive themselves and ask for forgiveness of others for making fun or coming across that way. Instead, we would just start meditating, thinking, feeling, and saying, okay, this person has this person has that, we're good. And then we would bless it into being until it happens. By just talking on the phone, telling each other, you have this, you have that. Talk about what you have. Talk about your car. What does your car look like? How does it feel? How does your house feel? How does the girl of your dreams feel? Think about it, feel about it. Are you holding hands? Are you kissing? Are you together? What is your happy vibration? What's the happiness feeling? How does it feel? What it is it? Okay, bless, bless, bless. It is. Already happened. Already happened. Already happened. Already done. Already done. Already done. Now, now, now. And you're doing it. You're doing it very repetitively, over and over, of a focus of it's real, and you're praying together in a group of 3 or 4, or at least you two are both doing it every day and every moment until it happens. And you're talking about it, knowing that it's real, not worrying about talking about it, taking the time, however long you require for it to be real. And so you do 3 minutes for that person, and then you do 3 minutes for yourself, and then you then do another form of awareness. So I always say have 20 minutes is what I would recommend for 2 people, 10 minutes for 1 person. And so you want 10 minutes for each person. So if there's 4 people, you want at least 10 minutes for each person or being. That's part of the manifesting, because it can work with being to being. So even if you're pretending to be human and you know you're not human, well, then you can still work together without worrying about that. So on page 132 at the bottom there, or within there, I recognize these things, some of these things frightened me, and even then some of these things intrigued me and annoyed me of the awarenesses that I noticed. I recognize energy around me that interferes with tech phones and other things, as well as my own body affecting things. At the same time, they provided me with new gifts, so new abilities, new awarenesses. Also, it seems they want to reuse these gifts for others at the same time. Instead of being afraid, I decided I will be truly brave. Then I also chose to not fear and then cheer for others recently. I don't know why I put that there about reusing gifts. Really interesting. Um, Probably connected to belief back then, but it's okay. We're good. So on page 133 at the top, I stay happy, joyful, for me and others. Dreams is what I learned. Can help us then feel completely content for each other and share that knowledge with all those who choose to be aware of of out of our love for them. It allows us to live a fullness of life now and forever without being scared, but to help get others to be freed of all enslavement and control of all kinds of evil doing that harms others fully. It's about all lives or all life, and it's about protecting others that protect us, not accusing or abusing, but being an example and truly thinking of our lives the way we want it fully, while also doing the same for others and more allows us to help each other in ways we never knew they needed it, and while doing so helps us also. When we love creation, we end up being loved ourselves. Also, because we love another creation and choose to want good for what they desire, uh, and all that we have to do is ask, think it, believe it, visualize, and feel it, or do whatever we can in thought and invasion in the gifts we have to help create and allow it to create for them for healing of all of us. And it starts with each other's individual desires and dreams. And I didn't mean invasion, I meant envision. So envision, focusing on envision. See, some people will see something and manifest me to bring up something they're focusing on. So someone was focusing on seeing what I wrote as invasion when it's really envision, because we've had things that have occurred and people are still focusing on the fear vibrations, and we don't need that. We can heal any invasions or invasions, and we just go through it and communicate with one another, focusing on a positive form and forgiving the negative of thought that we've had or have gone through. When we dream, we become a part of ourselves, so we have always wanted to our gifts that we have. We end up using them to help us in a way that best serves us now. If we don't know of what our gifts are, then we learn what they can do rather than how or why we have them. We should trust and use them for good, or even realize that using them can harm some of us. Avoid using them, or others are afraid of that use of them because of not understanding them fully. So what is the gift you have? Many of us think we have things that we don't. That doesn't mean we don't have it or won't have it. It just means we like to be what others are or what we think others are, so we fit in. I know I have. Some of us, it to sell or to find common grounds with others when in fact they are way different than what they think. Empaths are usually sensitive beings, powerful, aware of many things, able to see and feel things. Many that are empathic get affected by others' feelings more. Yet, most heal others and then end up with others' ailments and sicknesses. At the same time, they can self-heal by letting it go. Yeah, that's something I had a hard time at that time doing, is learning how to do that with empathic abilities. And people think it's connected to shamanism, and so people do it and they do it in a certain path and go the wrong direction with their power, ability, or focus or belief in it, and they start to hurt themselves. They think being around sick people hurt them, and they were following shamanism and other things, thinking that that will help, or that's something that is good. Well, shamanism just taps into your inner form, and you're also doing a lot of smoking and stuff that they make you do to hallucinate or to feel certain ways, to get into different realms that your body blocks are connected to. And so you end up going to like dark dimensions more because you're trying to heal those blocks. But when you go to those dimensions, you want to make sure that you hug those beings and then they become good beings instead of bad. I'm told that when I went to Theta Wellness, I told the son of the guy that owned the place, he helped me too at times. But I started to realize that there's more to it than that. We want to go for natural stuff, not chemically altered things. It raises our vibration stronger. And so I got drawn to organic vegan foods, natural foods, got away from chemical foods, and started doing the things that really matter because the higher form told me I'd be drawn to those things. I was told what to do. I was told how. And I learned it, and I started going that direction for my protection. Then I learned to follow certain sleep cycles. Change your sleep cycle, go a certain path, and you'll end up connecting with a peaceful cycle, a protective cycle more. It's pretty cool. So some people have belief as an empath, the way to heal or protect from you being damaged is to block yourself from others' problems at the same time. That may help, but the best thing to do is heal through mind, thought, and faith healing, as well as chi energy connections through meditation. And for those who have belief in priesthood power, the power on the laying on of hands by the Melchizedek priesthood, which I like. It at the same time, it's powerful when you have belief in it, and the lack of faith can always be combated by faith of others for that person's lack of faith. It's all about belief and having belief. The others belief, even if they currently don't, just trust they're healed and that they do, and it does through brain, thought, feeling, and genuine prayer thought, and see the end result, see them healed, and let them do the same, and it will. So basically, it's the brain thought focus and not worrying about the brain thought focus, and then trusting that you're already healed, and then you become healed. See, what has happened is people are so focused on lack of healing, and they're trying to get us to follow paths of that lack of healing. But it's really more unconditional than what we've been told, and it's a lot more powerful than what people tell us we are or what we can be. We are more open to these ideas when we decide to, and mostly it's about the recognition that it's not really about Melchizedek priesthood power. Melchizedek was said to be a higher form being that came down, like people met Melchizedek. There's a lot of, that's a Zionist connected belief system, but they've altered and connected and misunderstood each other's focus of good. What we're meant to do is be there for each other and not enslave each other. So what has happened is their belief system is connected to these beings, but they've gotten off track of what really peacefulness is in these groups. And so they're missing the point and messing with the wrong forms of people, of thinking that they're not part of this connection and saying that it's a man connection. No, women are meant to have the power to heal and be. And we're meant to have that within our societies. But what's happened is they've tried to reverse it and control the systems, but then acknowledge the existence of them, but trying to fake that they are part of that system, but they're not. So it's the ones that do that or have done that is the Draco reptilian beings, or beings in the reptilian factions that are bad or were bad. Now they're correcting themselves, and they just need to be healed. They just need to be thought of in a good manner of healing, but it doesn't mean we need to associate with them. We just need to get them into a better vibration by getting ourselves into a better vibration. Then it affects them in whatever lifetime connection will be with them. And so as we awaken ourselves, others within all belief systems awaken as well and correct what they've done, and the different realms start to heal. So it's all about belief, and women can use the Melchizedek power too. They're supposed to be able to, but they try to say that it's only for men and control for men. But who was the one that did that? Women blame the men. Some men know that it was the women of the men that changed the rules. So there are leaders that are women that control their husbands to follow that idea, so that they would be secret leaders, and that the men would be the ones that get all the blame. But it's really those women controlling the society, or beings or female of those that puts that society that direction. And then what's interesting is now there's more women in the world than there are men, because the true leaders are trying to kill men off, to blame it on them for the society the way it went, when it's really them that were part of it. But it's correcting itself now. We're in a better realm now. We're becoming better beings. It's really cool. It's all about belief and the others, even if they currently don't. Just trust they're healed, and that they do, and it does, through brain, thoughts, feelings, and genuine prayer of thought. And see the end result, see them healed, and let them do the same, and it will. See them already achieve their desired life, and it helps them to be able to feel healed in those areas of their life, and then they can heal their physical form faster. So focusing on providing everybody their needs and requirements and manifesting them into being helps a lot. Okay? So empathic people are said to be affected and drawn to narcissists. At the same time, it doesn't matter about either affecting each other, just belief. So I have belief in you. I'm not worried about any of what you are or what you could be. All I care about is finding a solution for a future that we all can help each other benefit for the good, and just keep becoming all that we wish and want to be. For me, even if I don't have much, I want to do my best to at least have what I want in this life. before the next, and then have a life in the next to be as I believe and choose to have faithfulness to have. Either way, I will do what I can to do what matters. I'm all about finding a way to heal, not to blame. This past year and a half, I felt the blaming, but in all actuality, I realized it didn't matter. I changed my heart because I healed it and was healed through my belief and choice to realize that I can either complain or shape my destiny and provide mine others' future. And due to the fact that I always wanted to create and help others, I ended up changing my life and even healing my soul through the law of attraction and through the change of thought and forgiveness. I finally accepted and asked of others for that forgiveness. I became stronger for it, and then we was able to help create a life I want for others, so we can all have a better destiny. Those who feel I haven't asked for forgiveness, I ask for it now. Whatever you may feel I affected you, please know I have belief and keep my thoughts for all. And if I don't know, or you think I do and I don't, then know this. Either way, I love you and I hope you can forgive me for anything you feel if I did or didn't. Either way, as we forgive and let pain go, we grow and then our abilities ignite and work stronger than ever before. Some use their abilities with their anger. I know that love is stronger than destruction. I've seen it heal. I've seen it grow back after death and heal the wounds of others left behind. I have seen how forgiveness of all kinds will provide healing for all, even if people choose not to forgive and still choose to lie. I still pray and believe in them and see their future joy and mine with them. And I care for all of us to be the best of our abilities, belief in the mind, healing of thought, and all things will happen for all ours and others' goods. And when our lives, I would say when our lives are what we have wanted for our hopes and eternal life exception, then we end up helping others grow. So we can do a lot more, basically, when you have what you require. Also, when it comes to forgiveness, I care about everybody, and now I just let people come to me if they want to come to me. I do my best to go to them when I feel I need to, but I've gotten away from those that tried to control my future or tried to tell me that I was mentally insane or that my focus of fear or where is not valid, that my awareness of dangers that I've been dealing with foods and lack of needs, and letting it be known and saying that if something doesn't happen, I might die within a certain time. So that's why I want to manifest and do things even more, because of the way the system has been. But we're correcting those systems and we can have a better world and a better system now. We're getting into that 5D realm, or the world's becoming 5D realm. No matter who the person is, bad can help good, and even good can help bad. So why not trust in the good of creation and let the destruction do what they choose to do? There's no need to focus on that. It doesn't mean you let them do destruction. It just means for you basically focus on the good for what you know is good for you, and do that with people that want to do that, like me. Those that want to manifest good and peace and healing and manifesting desired needs for yourself and family, and can also do that with me for mine, so we can do it for each other. And when 3 or 4 people come together and do that, then we all can manifest it faster. When you have a group of people and children praying for world peace and focus, it's even stronger, it's even better. There's no need to focus on that. It keeps happening. But stand up for the creation Do what is important to stand for the righteous desires of creation, for family and friends, loving one another as we have been taught by peacemakers, philosophers, and spiritual giants like prophets and saviors of old have taught us. One I'm aware of is Enoch, for one who helped us all become amazing through his teachings of God's teachings, where he brought up his people at the same time, where they go where they go spiritual realm or alien, regardless where. Let's just be there for all and make our life matter as well as others for the good of our life, dreams, and others. See, I didn't know I was going to bring up Enoch in this, but I just did. And I just told you about it earlier when I first started this chapter. When you talk about certain things get brought up when you bring up stuff. So let's say that you have a check with your name on it, a cashier's check that's been given to you. So it's full, it's cash, basically. You get the liquid income. And what it is it's a currency within the currency you want, the amount that you want. And it has your name on it, see your name on it, and think of the amount that is beyond the amount that you would need. You want to double the amount that you think that you require and double it, triple it, quadruple it, and then so that you can cover any required payments with it, and that you have someone that helps you with that earning, helps you make sure you fill out the proper forms for the earning so that you don't accidentally use too much of it or too little of it, that you have exactly what you require, covering your desired house, vehicle transportation, your trips, your desired lifestyle, the American dream, or whatever dream you desire to have. You're free. You have everything you wish. So you're good to go. For good of life, dreams, and others. So basically, Enoch was said to bring up a city into heaven, or Enoch, or whatever you want to call. I was compared to Enoch when I talked to the higher form. I had feelings that I was very similar to that being, Enoch to Metatron. Metatron is a good friend of mine. And I'm not talking about Metatron on Twitter and things. He's cool too. But I'm talking about the actual Metatron seems to be allies with me. I've noticed it many times. And Metatron seems to be a real being. But it's also connected to energy science teachings of Metatron's cube. Now, we're not talking about Megatron. We're not talking about the Transformer. We're talking about Metatron, the Archangel. Some people think it's Michael is Metatron connected, which kind of is, but Metatron is said to be Enoch being human and then becoming angel form, being gifted because of their heart and awareness of things. And so that being is connected to angel connection and then becomes the leader over the angels and connected to Christ. And so when Metatron became Metatron, it was as though as Metatron probably rised up and became a higher being, and so became a fourth density being, I would say, that then became a fifth density later, scribe of God, and then became connected to Christ, who is one and the same with Metatron, but a higher form of that one, and then God form. It's pretty interesting how it connects. But now most aliens can read thoughts and speak with thoughts. As they do, we hear them. When we hear their thoughts, they then hear us hearing their thoughts as we think a response or feeling They recognize they have abilities, and so who knows if they developed or stole them or grew from other species that were abducted due to their hereditary gifts, that they would give either way, share and be sharing and caring, be charitable to them and all as best as we can. At the same time, follow your value system. Either way, and I would say an unconditional value system. Either way, choose what you feel you should do. I'm at the top of page 136. Those wanting to know where I'm at. I was feeling intuitive about that. Don't do anything unless you feel it's important to do. Follow your heart. Do as you will. It's your choice. And know I care. I have belief in you, and I will think of your achievements in all life, dreams, and true desires. So now I'm at the paragraph that starts with, so I tell you this. So I tell you this, those who have gifts have of mind thoughts. No, I understand because I've witnessed it. We all can end up having discernment, and then psychic powers are seeing the future, sometimes through props, can be a message from all sorts of messengers. To regardless what happens, pray, learn, follow the good. And even if something feels right later on, if you decide it wasn't, then follow the path that leads you in the best benefits to others. If you don't know, seek, then you will never find the path. But at the same time, if you feel you have the path, follow your bliss, whatever it may be again. This is your choice. Those who aren't sure is who I am speaking to. Those who are, just do what you already have chosen. It's all your choice. So follow your path of what you feel is right for healing for yourself. But don't push others into your path if they want something else. Help them in the way they want to be helped in. Learn what it is. If you find out that you were wrong about what they wanted, what you felt they wanted, and you're upset that they didn't explain themselves enough, don't do that to them if that's not what they want. Be understanding and forgive their awarenesses, and you will become more wiser, and more light and wisdom will come to you to help them in the way that the individual is required. When you become authentic and you're honest and open, you become a better being. So again, I'm not part of the LDS Church anymore, and I'm not part of those belief systems of conditional manifesting. I'm about unlimited manifesting, where you can follow it through your heart. You don't need to be part of any religion, or that you don't need to be out of religion for it to work necessarily either. It's kind of following what is it your life path is going towards, and what is it that really matters for your needs and feelings. Don't think that you can't or someone else can't. Have faith that it can. If it's important to their needs and health, why ignore those needs and feelings? You weren't told to do that by Christ or by other beings. You were told to help heal, naturally heal. Don't be knowledgeable. Be aware of the foods. Be aware of the trickery. Do what truth requires. Do the right thing. If you really care about peace and doing good, recognize what your churches and societies have done and correct and do good. Don't be upset at the bad. Forgive the bad, but then change the system that you've been doing and agreeing to. That's not healthy. That's why I got out of religions, because of the agreements of abuse and control that they were doing. But some want that abuse and control, and some don't think it's going on, and they think they need to and they have to, and that it's justified. No, it's not justified when it's abusing children, enslaving them, giving them over to reptilians as slaves, sexually abusing, stealing your genes, making hybrids without the individual's awareness, but forgiving what has been done, because now your genes and donor and whatever is now affecting other people because your genes and power spark is now correcting the world. So don't be upset of what's happened. Be grateful that even though it was wrong of them to do so, now they're being corrected and their hearts are jumping and making them feel guilty of what they've done and correcting their system from inside out. It's pretty impressive. It's correcting what they have done 10 to 1,000-fold, and bringing people back to source or to whatever we really are. So magical powers can come in all shapes and sizes. At the same time, I like the idea of chi connection, which is the energy connection within you and within all life and creation. It's about belief in each other. So know I love you and I value you all, and I will do my best to help with my belief and thought feeling for you. And I hope you will do the same for me. And I know in my mind, as if we all already are through all generations of time and throughout all eternity, using church teachings, the past can help the future people that read this in the future can pray for the past. So those in the future pray for me and you on this day. Now I write this, and this date of this idea was retyped and finished Sunday, January 28, 2018. So those in the future pray for this day. It's a cool idea. I thought of long ago. Let us help us all become what it is important to become. I have learned so much from this and belief in blessing for this. No need to know where I am or what I want. Just know that this time all things we all desire come true instantly, starting this date or before this date, so that everything you desire keeps working. It's all about prayer and belief. You can pray for your past or others' past that now it will come to pass at the present to help at this date. So all those that see this, thank you for doing so. All those that don't, no worries. I still have belief in you, and I know you believe in me fully too. I know in my heart that it's true, that it's on its way. I feel the good and still know we matter to everything. So again, thank you. So all of us should know that we are loved. All of us care and are what we all want to be. We all matter and we all care. As we do this, then we can also use our gifts to genuinely help others. As we do this, we end up following what we have been created for, to just keep being and growing and becoming more in whatever way we and others wish to truly be. If someone becomes something bad, then have belief that changes and they become good. It's all about thought and hope. We learn something new. Don't fear. Just have belief and think differently so they heal the way they desire and see them as cured in all areas for them and for all to see. It's all about creation and growth. When we do this, they end up growing and helping plant new seeds in others to grow the way they have always wanted. Just belief in what they wish, no need to know how or in what they want to or need. Trust that they know and that the focus energy will do it in the easiest, fastest way. Just have belief and you shall receive. So their abilities and their feelings, seeing that they already have what they already have and feeling it and calling it into existence through your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions as one. Your brain, your heart, and your gut. All of those are lymphatic system connected, and there's other organs with it and other connections to all the way to your leg and your feet and your hand and everything connected to that function. So that's what you want. So abilities may have come from change. Some aliens may have agendas, but it doesn't matter. What matters is how you react to these things, knowing concepts and theories that can help realize how to do things that help us all achieve the needs and the hopes and dreams. Needs are Edens. So Edens, if you think about it, need, Edens. Interesting, huh? So making our own Edens, Garden of Edens. Anyway, concepts and theories I've found connect spiritual understanding with science. And I've already explained a lot of them in all my chapters. So now I will do my best with your belief in me. I will write what is needed for you. So have belief in me, as I will always do my best to believe in you for good of creation for all. So that ends chapter 8. See, that wasn't very long. It wasn't really as long as many may have thought it would have been or was going to be. And so that was a short recording for a chapter. So over an hour now. So that was good. Now, the next focus, this next one, is going to be a very long chapter. I'll do that on a new recording. I know, but if you manifest it will be a short form of recording, then it will be, even though it is a pretty good amount of pages. I don't think it's as long as chapter 4 was that I look at it right now. It doesn't seem as long because it goes from 138 all the way to 160. So it's not really that long of a chapter compared to chapter 4. So chapter 9 will be somewhat less shorter. Now chapter 10 is very thought out, very focused, but it's a very short chapter. Chapter 11 is probably going to be one of my favorite chapters to go over because it's about my desired life, and then I can kind of teach you or get you to think in the way that you want for your life. I've written a journal thing in here and show my vision board. It's kind of in grayscale. They were supposed to put it in color, but that's okay. But it was very well done either way. I'll put my dream board or new updated pictures of it on my on that recording. So that recording will actually have my full chapter 11 will have my full slideshow of my vision board information. It'll have everything that I want focused on and thought of and put together. And so after I do that, that's going to be pretty cool. But see, we're getting really close to the end here. Basically, 11 is a really big chapter, but it's not really that big because it's just, there's a lot of pictures of the vision board stuff in there. And then chapter 12 is really short too. It's to the point, or straight to the point chapter, or it's supposed to be. At the same time, some of it being long is short themselves because it has the same stuff I put in chapter 11. So, chapter 13, Hope and Overview chapter, is, I have to say, is pretty short and is the last chapter mentioning. And then I've already told you the acknowledgements, but I'll give some more acknowledgements at the end of reading chapter 13. As I said I would. I might also do my whole new recording after chapter 13 that goes into stuff. But yeah, so chapter 9 is going to go into concepts and theories to solve theory problems and ideas that help find a solution to all problems that are not known, and if known, how to connect them together without breaking one's belief, but to expand one's understanding of all things. Now, let me explain something. When you're going through a faith crisis, or you're going through something and people aren't acknowledging your awareness of it, it can push you out of the religion because of the beliefs that people had about that. But it doesn't mean that getting kicked out of that religion or getting drawn out of that religion is deceiving you. In fact, it woke me up to realize how conditional I was being, thinking that I wasn't being conditional. And so right now I'm going to focus on something. When I get into chapter 11, I'm going to then go into the, get into the straight to the point chapters. When I read 13, I'm going to then do another recording that is a new form of recording that is going to be focused on telling you my actual focus and desire of life, of what it is I see it as and feel it as and know it as, and to kind of give you a whole focus on how you can do that yourself as well in your focus, and then do the meditation with me, or think as if you are, if you decide not to call me or get a hold of me. But those of us that know it's important, we're waking up to this knowledge and awareness, and many of us know we're going to be okay. We know that a higher form is changing this world and coming into this existence and bringing us into their realm because of the damage and the death and the trickeries that have been fallen upon us. And it's been messing with all of us, and it's been screwing up this world and this realm. We're coming to the awareness of oneness rather than than what has been told us by religional teachings. I've noticed that what's happened is the gods have changed their names over times, and that there was many gods and then there was one form. Now the many gods are still around and they're still existent. It's just now there is a higher form above them that they became to help with the forms that we're becoming to get to where they're at. So they all know what we've gone through and what we're dealing with. And they understand our feelings and our pains and lack of understanding. The great thing about Metatron is he's supposed to be the one that protects those that have suffered, or protect those that are being misunderstood or being abused and ignored and being not looked after and not understood. And he also is the protector of children and the protector of the unborn, and knows our life path, knows what we're meant to do and what we're supposed to achieve, and the promises that we are supposed to be given and have been told we will have by doing what we feel is needed to be done in. And so I'm letting you know right now that I'm just doing what I was told to do by that form. And it's 8:18 a.m. right now on Thursday, February 27th, 2020. That's pretty interesting because 8:18 are two numbers that are part of my lucky numbers. 18 was also the day that I was officially born. I was 3 days late, so 3 seems to be a powerful number for me as well, because when I add up all my lucky numbers, they all add up to 3. I used to hate the number 3. Now I love the number 3. I noticed more happiness with 4. A lot of good with 4s. Now, there's many people that are being told wrong things about numbers and 4s when they look into and they get drawn to negative energy or focuses, or they're trying to get people to look at the negatives of things because that's what they got drawn to and affected. I noticed that a lot of people that are in religious belief systems that are conditional, feel that they are all having negative things happen to them. Even when they're like rich and well off, they still complain. They're not fully happy. And yet they don't understand what they have that they can provide others with unconditionally without strings attached. See, what's happened is these governments and these entities or these people have been taught or being conditioned to follow a Nazi Germany fashion of irritation in these religions. There have been people getting into the societies and making these religions teach those teachings while also acting as though they're not doing that, but they're forgiving and they're focusing on those regime controls and societies. And it's really horrible. It's really wrong and inappropriate and not helpful, stealing and causing harm. But the society and situations are very eerie. They've allowed the good people to be shunned that recognize the wisdoms and have experiences. And the bad people, they're raising them up. But the good beings, the fifth density beings and all of that, are correcting that for all of us. They're opening up people's eyes to who are actually causing harm and who are actually about true healing, so that you don't get deceived anymore and forgive the deceit that's happened, but healing it. And those that have caused punishment now go in their own form of punishment for causing that punishment, because that's what they wanted. That's what they pushed towards. They knew it would happen. They didn't know how long it would happen. They want to be forgiven of it, but they're going to go through the same pain they put their victims through. Even if they're not the ones that did it. If they gave them over to reptilians or other people to abuse, they allowing that to happen, being in charge of that, anybody part of that will then be hurt and caused harm because of their guilt. Because they know they're guilty of it. But then they'll be forgiven if they realize that we need to now do this correct way. So I really like Narnia because the guy who betrayed his brothers and family for treats, magical treats that he wanted, and then for the queen, and then he gets forgiven and gets told. And then later the selfish little brat in the later shows, same thing. They learn new forms of awareness and caring with Prince Caspian when he comes back. Same type of stuff. He tries to warn the other to not trust or not allow that anymore. Tries to get tempted again with her. But that dude gets very greedy about riches and wealth and turns into a dragon because the riches that they're wanting was cursed. But then people freak out over riches. But I want you to look at people within your own religions who have tons of money. And I want you to look at it. What are they doing to help the poor and the needy unconditionally? And listen to people like me who have been hurt by these religions and ignoring my needs. And they're saying, oh, well, we're only helping people within the religion now. It's not what Christ taught. He said help all the sick and the poor and the needy without requiring anything in return. And doing it freely, letting them do what they feel they need to do for their life path, knowing and being aware and teaching them and letting them open their hearts and be open and aware. And the wise will see and feel and create. A Christ came to me, or a Christ consciousness form came to me with Metatron and them connected to him. It was many beings as one being that came to me, but it was many beings at once. And also not just talking to me, talking to other people throughout time and children and other lifetimes, and hugging and caring about all of them that want to be hugged and cared for. I felt I was hugged. At first I wondered if I really was hugged, if it was just someone else. But I do feel that I was hugged in a way, and I do feel like regardless of where I was, when that being comes, that being's going to hug me and apologize for the lack of me not seeing the hug or feeling the hug fully like I felt was given. It's going to be more clear, it's going to be more real, and it's going to be more powerful. And I'm going to be one of those that help the resistance teachings right now, and that's what I'm doing, but we may not need that. The sooner we come together and pray and manifest things, we don't have to worry about not getting into the fifth dimension. We are in the dimension. We are now there, led by the hand of Metatron, by asking Metatron or agreeing to be led, holding the hand of Christ, leading us into the unconditional healing of what our being is meant to for everybody, even atheists. And it's going to be offered to everyone. And those that accept it and understand it, and they'll understand what that offer is about, and that it's okay to decline or not, but what declining will do, where they'll go, or what will be affected by it. But it will be clear, it will be understood. It won't be, will you follow me, without them knowing who the individual is. You'll know it's them. Everybody will know it's them. It will be clear. It's that being. It'll be obvious. And then all of those that have judged me and others who have mentioned we experience these things will be in awe and will feel really hurt and sorry for misjudging us, that experience these weird things. Now, when I experienced this, I was told by this being that they're not a male or a female. They're everybody and everybody's them, and that equality is what matters. The scriptures have been altered. There was many things that I would learn, and I was told that every being and every person is okay, no matter their sexual orientation or choices. I've also had feelings of not worrying about someone being a certain sexual person or being, that we're them and they are us, and we're going to be that being, and they are us as well in different lifetimes. And that's how amazing this is, and that's how powerful this is. We are these beings, and these beings are us, and we are connected within these forms of connection. There is many things you're going to learn, and we're all going to learn, and it's a very powerful healing power. And those that have tried to molest me or secretly did inappropriate things will be put in their place. But they're me and I'm them, and they'll apologize. Some will not feel like they can hug because they know that they forced sexual acts and issues why we slept or why we were being put in the project. And they did that not to help provide our needs or desires, but for their own selfish desires and needs of getting it out of us, or coercing and controlling us, promising or saying they'll do one thing and then doing another, promising things but then not holding to those promises. And so everything that has been taken from us will be given back, and we'll get extra things on top of that, and everything we've always wanted. Tenfold to 1,000-fold to make up the delay and to make up things that have been stolen from us and others. And we'll learn how to do that and help others, and we're going to share it with the world freely for what we have extra of. And the world there won't be any money required when these beings come, and this new realm will happen, because everything will be free energy. We'll understand, we'll create that, we'll have it, all the tech will come out, everything will be known, but then we're going to be going towards more of a higher form way of doing things rather than using technology. We'll make our own technology by manifesting it or turning a rock into a ship, things like that, or something. We won't by just telling the rock to be a ship or to be a spacecraft or whatever. It's going to be very easily, we're going to basically turn water into wine type of things. And we're going to be able to depart waters, and we're going to be able to do all the things that they were able to do before. It's a very impressive pattern of ability. We're going to realize that the planet is alive, form and possible a ship as well, and is going to be easily working with us more. We communicate with it more. I noticed that the Earth woke up, and I noticed it right away last week. And I knew that this is the time, and these are the times of these changes. And so things are changing, things are happening, and they're going the direction and path that they're meant to. Now, I mentioned that I would get these recordings done before February ends. But even if I don't, it will be okay. I'm figuring it out. I'm getting it done. I'm probably going to get it done and then upload it on Sunday, the 1st of March. But right now I'm doing things before the end of February so we can get this going that direction. So this is leap year, it seems. So this is an amazing time frame, and amazing things are about to occur. And that happens to be a day that adds up to 8. But then the day itself of the year is the 29th day of the year. So it also adds up to 10, to my knowledge. So there you go. It's really cool. Or not 29th day. It would be... I was thinking of something else. It's going to be... because you got the 31 days in January. And then you have 29 more days added onto that. So that's basically 60 days. So it's a 6. So you add 8 and 6 together is what you do. And that adds up to 7, which is even a better number for Capricorns and things as well. But from what I'm saying, but 7 is 7 heaven. So this is a powerful day of heavenly becoming and creating. Also, I'm feeling right now a very big vibration in my back of my head and feeling of power and body, and I know that I'm getting into an ascension form of feeling. So anyway, I wanted to let you know that this was kind of one of my shorter recordings for the chapters. There might be even shorter recordings later in some of the chapters, but chapter 9 is going to be a somewhat long. It'll probably be under 3 hours. I don't think it's going to be that long. It might take 2 hours to read it, go through it, but I'm going to be talking about a lot of it in there and correcting a lot of things. So it could go up to 3 hours for chapter 9. I want people to understand that we're all okay. We're all going to be what we want to be, as long as we focus that is what is important to us. And even if you're scared or worried, that's why it's important to call me and reach out to me, and then manifest those desires. So read on to the rest of it. Anybody that understands how important this is, again, you can reach out to me. This is very detailed stuff, and I know it's a lot of hours that I put into it, and I know it's a lot of hours to listen to all the things I've said and brought up. But let me just tell you that this information, or these experiences that I went through and am explaining, is simply to just get you to the realization that all we really need to do now is, and what I've learned from this journey, is come together and meditate and create a reality. Now, the reason why I shared this information is because I was noticing by sharing it, I was having attacks and things happen to me, threats, and it helped me to change my sleep pattern and to be a better individual and a better being. So I switched that around, and now I'm following a better path of focus, better awareness of things. So this realm is changing constantly, and we're noticing it, and it's becoming a lot stronger and a lot more powerful and a lot more aware, a lot more apparent. People are noticing it, they're feeling it, and they're acknowledging and seeing it and feeling it themselves. People are being affected by it. Some are being irritated by it, but we're all changing in the fashion we're comfortable and able to, based on who is helping us and who's chosen not to help us, who is actually with us and who's actually been against us. So there's a lot of change happening and many things that are occurring that people want to be something that they're not. And so in order to help get that vibration direction for you, you're thinking you want something one way and it's really something better, but you have to go through what you're saying you want in order for you to be able to know what you really require. And then you can adapt and change. You don't have to stay in that realm forever. You just keep adapting and changing. And the way that helps that is coming together, meditating, and talking to me. And again, many people think that what I'm doing here is me doing propaganda like others have on other channels. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not. What I'm doing is free. For those that can call me and get a hold of me, or somehow get a hold of me in whatever way they can. I'm in Utah, so you call my Utah number. That's the only cost that would be costly for you. You can also think, if you can't do that, you can email me. If you can't email me, if you have no way of doing that, you can comment on my videos recording, and say you would like this healing focus for you, and I can focus and do that for you, and just tell you, okay, I'm thinking that way, and I'll do a video for you particularly. Is there anybody else that wants me to do a video? And for them, specifically for them and their family. And then we can do it that way too. I can do videos for those that comment on my YouTube or my Facebook page or whatever, and I can do it for those individuals that reach out to me and say, hey, will you do this with me? And we'll listen. And this is what I would prefer someone to do. They will listen as I do it, and they'll act like we're doing it together in real time, even though we're not. And but it will be as though we are. We can do that throughout time and dimensions. It's fine. And so when you see the video, you manifest the video into being for you to be able to then focus. And then we just tell and think this way for each other. I think this way for you for 3 minutes, and I focus on what you want and your desire. Then we focus on me. So I do you first, and then we can do me. If you want to be last, if you want to do me first and then you, then we can do me first, and then however you want to do it. But most of the time, I usually do you first, and then we focus on me. Because I know mine is way longer and focused. To me, yours is a lot more simpler and easier to have. For me, I feel I require more of a focus with others, so that I can feel that it's real more. And so that's why I would prefer to do that over the phone with people. And so I want to put me last, not because the best is last, say for last. It's more of doing that last helps the creational focus of what I know is necessary. I want to put all the energy for you first, as long as you feel you need it in, and then we can do mine. But I try to keep it both equally. It's just mine is so more apparent of what I know I require. Yours is more generic, because unless you told me what you want and what you're looking for, and I know exactly how you want to manifest it and meditate in, I may not have the props or the requirements that you think is required. So what it is it's just energy with water and focus. So you just tell me, how do you want to do that? And how do you want it to be? And then I do recommend that when you do this, get some Celtic salt, raw form, and then get that are organically natural, non-GMO, non-genetically modified, not synthetic, but real Celtic salt. And then get it's not been dyed or bleached, and also get Himalaya. And then whatever one you have, pray for it regardless. If you're okay with what you have chosen, even if you're not sure what it is, just bless it as though it is, and then put it together. But be smart and be safe. Don't do too much salt. Research how much salt to do it, or pray and put a little bit. If you realize that it was too much, then redo it again another way. So you may want to have extra salt on hand just in case you do too much or too little. The too little is not really a big deal if you have tons of it. If you do too much, it can be very bold and it can mess with your system. One thing that I know that happens when you do these techniques with Celtic and Himalaya salt and this stuff is you get a lot of rashes. You get rashes on certain parts of your body that are telling you that those areas need healing. So the rashes are the energy helping you vibe stronger or become more than what you've been. So it's basically just helping you or informing you that there's an issue here and it needs to be recognized, and you want to be healed in this way. And so you will start healing in that way, and it will be a lot better for you because that's your focus, that's your need, that's your requirement. So it's very interesting. It's very important and powerful for you to acknowledge these things and witness or recognize these needs, and then you can heal better and faster and more intentive, because you'll know where these itches. So it's good to have organic lavender oil or oils that you feel good that you can put over these rashes because this is a detox that's happening. So you want to have that oil, and you can get them at a natural grocery store or whatever to put it over, or some ointment like zinc or aloe vera or something plant or something that you feel is not chemically altered or messed with as much, that you feel soothing to those rashes, that heals the rash. Because what it is when you put this in your water or shakes, the Celtic salt and Himalaya, you want it diluted, and you want it to be diluted overnight or over in the fridge or whatever, shaken up, and then shake it up and then pour it in your drinks for that day. And so if you're putting the salt in your foods or shakes, why they're not diluted or soaked into the water, then they're going to be chunky within it, and it's going to be a little bit more powerful. Or you can put those salts as part of food that you're eating. But the more organic form vegan you go, meaning don't eat meat or eggs or dairy or anything, and you go organic, the more high vibrational you become. But there is a detox to it. So those that aren't doing that and they just want to do the Celtic Himalaya, are just good with getting rid of the impurities you put in your body that you don't know are not good. And that's fine, but you will rash more. But also, if you're rashing or if you're noticing it, it's just your body telling you that you're getting ready to ascend, so you need to start eating more high vibe foods and drinks, and you need to start thinking more peaceful. It's just you are changing, and your body is telling you, hey, you're getting ready to ascend more. Your body is changing, you're becoming more of a higher form, so you need more of a higher vibrational protection for you, or you're going to rash or be affected by all of these vibrational and controls that are out there. But you won't, because we're blessing that to change. But follow what you feel is right. Forgive what you realize you've done wrong. There's going to be things you're going to find out that have happened to you in the world that might be very startling when you find out. There are going to be things I find out that I figured might be going on or have been going on that will be apparently shown and told, and we're going to get it all told, and it's going to freak out a ton of people. But those people will go to the realm of their emotions. So that's why controlling your emotions is so important. And I'm going to bring that up in chapter 10. And it's very peaceful, it's very focused, but I'm going to bring up even more so than what I mentioned in there. So let's do, so chapter 9 is concepts and awareness. Put the kingdom of God above everything else. Put Christ above everything else in there. I have that in my vision posters that I have, but I've crossed out or starred the temple, meaning I crossed it out or put a certain thing in there, because I don't really agree with the temple controls anymore. What they've done is they've altered what is needed for the people, and they've turned it into not a peaceful form of place, and they're making it conditional, and they're keeping people from being in there of all faiths and all belief systems. And what they've done is these temples are just siphoning people's energies. They say that you feel spiritual when you're in there and you get answers, blessings, but what it is you're giving away your power within these buildings without knowing that you are. And you're going in there thinking it's to give those beings to beam down information and spiritual healing for you or knowledge, and yet people within those temples were laughing, making fun of people, being conditional and not unconditional. They're making women veil their faces at one point. They made agreements and special handshakes and very occultist teachings of the light side. And so but thinking it's good when it's really just very, very controlled and Nazi Germany tactics of feeling like you're part of a royal connected line agreement, but then saying that it's for all people, and yet secretly certain races don't get the full freedom that some of the belief systems know that it's going to be affected to them, or certain things won't be provided to certain groups because of their racial and connected societal belief connected people. But there's a lot of people that altered ideas of individuals, and there's been fake individuals pretending to be other individuals at times, or bringing up stuff in their professional stuff different than their actual personal life. And so they're saying one thing in their professional, and then their personal life they're doing something else, and then in their religious life they're doing something even totally different. And so they have many faces and facades and masks to act good or a certain way through procedural agreements they made, but they need to change their approaches and awareness of what they've done and what they're doing. And I've learned that there is a lot going on and a lot wrongdoing that's happened. So I'm doing what's right, regardless what others think I should do. I'm doing what I feel is right and what I know is right for everyone. And to free people from enslavement, free people from misguided problems of abuse or teachings, and to not put yourself down for being misled, but to change the way you were and not do that anymore to people, and to forgive yourself for the wrong teachings and ways that you felt you were told to be, or that you felt you got affected by, or were irritated or dealt with as you were growing into becoming who you are now. And I made a lot of mistakes with relationships, with people, with feeling like I needed more to be respected more than I felt the person was, but then I was messing up and getting drawn to sexual ideas of things or desiring that, thinking that I'm being sinned and that and feeling guilty or feeling drawn or feeling a certain way about it because someone did something I wasn't ready for, and no one really explained it well enough to me back then. And so I didn't understand that that's just life. See, the thing is it's okay to see people and to notice what they are and who they are and how they look and what they're going to look like and be. That's fine. See, these things we are connected to a connection of love or a connection to realizations and acknowledgments of recognition of being happy and enjoying life and being truthfully honest and open to your lifestyle of being. We are meant to recognize what we were and to become something better than what we've been. See, life is important and life matters, and we're meant to be better than what we've been told we shall be. And everybody has lied and cheated and tricked people into following paths that were wrong. And we need to follow a path that is better. We need to follow a path that is more approachable to ourselves and others. But it doesn't mean we're going to be perfect at it. We're going to have flaws. We're going to say the wrong things at times. But it doesn't mean that what we said was wrong or what we witnessed was wrong when we're following our hearts. Because when we start following our hearts and follow what really matters to us, we start to grow and become even better than what we've been. We stop causing harm and we start healing. We start choosing the path and the side that we want to be on. And if we realize that we were misled and we finally heard what needed to be heard, you can still change your side even if you've already chosen a side. You can always adapt, but it's better to do it sooner than later. Realize what choices you're making and realize the agreements that have been made, and don't worry about what has happened or what isn't. Just get out of these controlled, systematic controls. But you're going to be fine because you're following your heart, you're doing what you feel is right, you're doing things that you think is okay, you're connecting with the earth, you're doing things that others tell you, oh, that's horrible, that's wrong. But don't judge yourself for those choices. You chose to do those choices, and if you don't feel that they're really that wrong, or they weren't even causing harm necessarily to anybody, it was a desire to feel something because someone's keeping something from you, and so you need to feel something, then that's okay. You're doing okay. You're fine. You're awesome. You're amazing. You did what you felt is needed because of the lack of others understanding and taking things from you. And now you're getting them back. And we can get that to happen faster together by really talking to one another and praying for one another and saying, okay, we bless that this is what we would like. And we talk to each other and say, I bless, I bless, I bless. It is, it is, it is. And then we talk about it and we get excited over it and we talk about how these certain things are. And we just get into this moment of feeling that we are what we wish is. Even if we don't know if it is or not. We just say that it is and we talk about it as real. And we say how that paradise feels, how that lifestyle feels. And then that now we know what lifestyle we want after that. So first we want what we need within the realm that we're in. And then we get into the next realm after we've achieved that. After we get into that realm, we go higher and higher and higher. If there is no other realm, if there is no afterlife, then, at least you followed your heart and did what you felt you needed to do now, rather than feeling guilty about everything you do. Just start realizing your choices, make the choice, be upfront to your family and friends, tell them your truth, tell them your feelings. Don't be afraid, be brave, get your hopes up in everything you do, and feel peace, feel blissful. Tell people with your heart safely what you're about and what you follow. Now, if you rely on others for financial needs or different things, what you want is you want to get away from that so you can manifest out of that. You can work with me, we can manifest that away. We can get into a new form. That means you'll be inspired to set yourself up in places that you don't have to rely on people anymore. You're in your own home, your own place, and it's your money and your freedom, and you can pay back any dues that and kindness that others may require you as. They might not want it because they want to use it against you, or they may try. I've had that happen before, but it doesn't mean that it will keep on happening. If that happens, you just stand up to it, but with peace and happiness the best you can. Do not apologize to yourself. Even if you do, it's okay, for being upfront and honest and people taking it as though you're yelling at them when you're really not, or taking it as a strong form. Say, you know what, I'm all about meditation and prayer, and this is what my focus is. When you pull away from these individuals, it helps you and them relax and follow their path. Now, what's sad is some of these individuals, if you're stepping away from your family or parent, the relationship may go its separate places. But what's great about the situation is if something happens, if they hurt you or felt, when they die, you can just know that they still love you because now they know knowledge. And if they don't, appreciate the times you had with them. You can go to their funeral as a respect to them. Maybe people at that funeral or whatever will be upset at you or irritated that you weren't around or chose not to be around because of the way that they have treated you and threatened and put you down. When it comes to abuse, if I'm being told and put down and looked at and judged for really harsh things that I knew are harming me and they're ignoring it, that's when I've gotten away from my family. When they don't acknowledge and don't let me heal and aren't willing to heal with me and meditate with me for that healing in the way that I know is aware. I'm not expecting them to, but I mean, when they start telling me that I tell them this is what I need, it's just simple, and then they say that that's mentally ill to meditate and pray to heal, or awareness that I need certain foods that they knew was helping me, and then they switch on you and say you're mentally ill for thinking you need those foods, when they also even confirm that the foods have chemicals and things in them. So I've dealt with weird attitudes from my family where they'll agree with me in one place and then they'll disagree in it again. But then they know that what they've saw the research, they've been aware, but then they get tricked by other family members or other people tricking them to think otherwise, or their regime telling them to do that. And so they lose their family members in their life, or their energy pushes people away because that individual was putting them down in a very dangerous way, yet they say they love them. So I care about my family in an unconditional healing manner. I don't agree with any abuses that they choose to do, so I won't be part of that. But when it comes to recognizing foods and needs that they've ignored, and yet they saw that I was healing and others have, I forgive them because I was shown by the higher form in 2017 that they are being misled. They are being controlled, and to forgive them, and that we're all going to come together and hug and apologize when the time comes. Even if they die, their spirits and forms will come back at that time in those realms, and they will be individual lives, and they will come back as individual beings again. They'll be reborn or come back to life again. Many forms will come back to life. Many people think that it won't happen that way, but it does. It can. Or other reincarnations will be there that know they were those other people, and you'll be able to acclimate or connect with those people a lot easier. but it's going to be more apparent. It's not going to be just false hope or speculation of belief of someone saying they see spirits. It's going to be more of an apparent awareness. Now, I feel and hear knowledge and feel spirits all around me more than I have before. I know they've been protecting me. I know they've been around me. But there's been times that other beings have done things in place of these spirits being around me, and then they've woken me up, showing me these symbols or these attacks being done. And so they've been acting more to protect me and help others that are being targeted this way. And it's correcting the system, and we're correcting everybody's system and society, and we're becoming a better form of life. And what's happening is all the apparent controls are reversing themselves. Things that were bad are healing, and you're getting more good in your life. And so all the people that have been fully disabled, abused, and sexually messed with, and have been meditating and focusing on things like I've been doing to heal, and have been drawn to things, we are supposedly the ones that are going to get the most blessings, because we were the most damaged. We got damaged and isolated and pushed away the most. And so those who have been naked and put on the streets, or those were put aside and pushed aside, those that lack or are afraid they're going to lose everything, or promise they won't. And I've promised many times I'll be okay, that I'll get to a brink of concern and then I will be lifted up. But when I get attacked where it throws me off in fear of concern, which is legitimate concern, I let this higher forms know. I focus on meditation, and I ask people to meditate and pray for me. Even if you can't call me, do that. So anyway, I'll do videos and things later on meditations for those that want to. So if you want to reach out to me, you want to email me, say, hey, do a video for me after you do these book videos. Please do these videos of meditation techniques. I would love you to do these meditation techniques, please. Do these forms of focus or forms of ideas for my family or this individual and me. And so what I'll do is, for each individual, we'll do 3 minutes for each person. And then we can do more if needed. So if you want to do more and longer, then we can do a longer one. And we just have to kind of feel each other's feelings. And you have to accept that I will know what your feelings are. But it doesn't mean that I'll know and be fully in tune to you. You need to accept and feel that I am. And then when you do, even if there's a lack there, believe as though the lack isn't there, and you'll start seeing more into, and I'll be inspired without even knowing I'm being inspired. And you'll be inspired without even knowing you're being inspired. You'll do certain actions, certain things, and you may have already done those actions in the past. And now your future is going to be brighter and provided today because of your past focus. I brought that up in the last chapter. In this chapter I just read about, I think it was June 28th, 2018, because that's when I wrote that message, hoping that people pray or think good of me. Well, I started getting awareness after that time. By the end of that year, I started having issues and awarenesses and noticings. And then 2019, I started having even many other experiences and focuses and needs of awareness. But it was by the end of 2019 that I really woke up to everything, like I was told by the higher form I would. So even if you prayed for me back in June 28th, 2018, maybe something happened for those that focused on that chapter just now, for that past, that helps me today to be received what I have been hoping for, or for soon, within the next 3 days, receive that which I have hoped for. So between today and Saturday. before the end of the month. So why I'm finishing the book up. So that's pretty cool. So if that's the case and that's the focus, and that's what will happen. So there you go. I kept this. I went a little bit longer than needed on this, but I felt that I needed to for my heart. I'm not worried about how long I take my recordings for this. Those very in tune and ready will understand. Just so people understand about long recordings or messages, Christ did sermons from dusk till dawn. Okay? People prayed for 24 to 48 hours before, meditated longer even, and manifested and healed and created and tapped into abilities. So just so you know, because I just did this, now you're going to get some blessings yourself in possible creation directional paths. So I'm just letting you all know, and I'm giving you all information that we are all okay and we're all becoming what we wish to become. Things are correcting themselves and they're becoming more apparent, more healing, more powerful. I'm actually not going to worry about where I'm at or where I'm going or what's going to happen to me. I'm actually very happy with knowing that I can manifest, and I'm doing what I can right now to manifest things faster. I know that things need to happen before April or preferably before March because of certain paperwork and adjustments and certain things that are being asked or required to fill out. I'm letting you know right now that it would be better to finish certain things by certain times. But I'm letting you know that I'm going to get this done. So as soon as I feel I can, I want you to know that my heart goes out to you and that all we need to do is just manifest the things that are already apparent, already real, already happened, and then they are. So your dream house or desired vision house, your car, your transportation needs, your relationships, the woman of your dreams, the man of your dreams, whatever it is you're wanting, you're going to get something equivalent to it that's even better than what you were hoping to have. So it doesn't mean you're going to get the exact person, because that person may not want that, what you think is wanted from them. You're going to get from someone else that's more equivalent to you and more perfect in your way of focus of what perfection is. It's not going to necessarily be perfection, but it's going to be a focus on your belief in perfection. And it's going to be exactly what you feel is necessary for needs, and then it will adapt and change to your belief in them and love in them, caring about them, expecting things. Me, I'm what I am, but I'm not worried or concerned about people. I've become more apparent. I've become more aware. I've become more about focus on life and creation of reality. People are trying to get people to pay for things and not accept the higher form of awareness of things. I've become more unconditional connected. Now I am more focused on my belief of who I really am and who I really can be and who I really want to be. There are many people that are trying to benefit and control systems and be part of groups and then alter the group's focus and telling certain groups don't do this and don't do that, stopping people from fully doing the group power of manifesting. And because they're afraid of their power being taken away, their control being taken away. And they do this in religions. They also do this in meditation groups. I'm in part of meditation groups where they misunderstood my recognition, but I'm glad they did, because it made me realize what I wasn't being, and that I was following something that wasn't the right direction. And then I realized they were too. And it helped me wake up and grow to a new form of being. Then I was threatened by some of these individuals when all I was talking about is peace and healing to a lot of them. For the meditation group idea that that's what I want, even told them how I feel and directed. And then they acted like they are the teacher and the learner over me, and that they're the ones that are going to teach me. And they're the ones that have great knowledge and great information, that they're above others, and that they have great knowledge, and they took a lot of money and a lot of resources and a lot of time in what they've learned. But then they realized that all of that learning had good knowledge. It was good to learn it. And yes, it costs a ton. However, you can get that from following less knowledge too. You can get there by recognizing that you are naturally already that, because you're already everybody that did all those learnings. You're all living in a moment where you're all each other, and we're all different lifetimes. And so you've already are a doctorate. You already have a doctorate, even if you don't have a doctorate. You already have the knowledge of a therapist, even if you're not a therapist. You have it in you. You are that. You just need to see yourself as that. And you don't need to be that. You are whatever you wish to be. And that is even better than labels of profession. Okay? It's very, very therapeutical, very healing, very powerful just to say what you've experienced, be honest and open. And where did all these techniques come from? Well, they came from history and teachings and psychological profiling and controls and tests. So all these bad things taught us what good is. And then all these good things taught us what bad is. And then we learned what we fit with. And they realized what societies are stronger, what work better, who lasts longer. And what has happened throughout history is we've always known who and what will. It's organic vegan eating. It's natural food eating, non-GMO forms that are natural. They're rainforest forms that aren't pesticide or natural grown, never altered forms of plants and fruits and vegetables. And that those are the things we should be eating from and having, and have a ton of nutrients. Well, the rainforests in those places are probably the Garden of Edens that we didn't know are the Garden of Edens. And what is Eden? It's need. We need Eden. We need Edens. So what does that mean? We need gardens. It says it right in our words, even if it was accidentally done. But nothing's accidental. The higher forms influence people to write certain things through the text so that the smart individuals will catch on. And then those individuals who have a good heart, like me, will tell other individuals, and it will wake everybody up equally. The rich, the poor, and the needy, and the greedy. And it's going to get everybody to realize that we need to do things for each other in the way we all feel we want to have for our life. And then when we do that and we do it equally, we become full-fledged beings of that which we have wanted. We end up in the reality heavens that we feel are heavens. Other people say the bad people will go to a hell. Well, they're going to go to where they think is their form of heaven, which we would think is a hell. And then that's why there's heaven hells. They're just dimensions that people go for a time, feeling that that's what will be done to them or to be put in them. Let me just tell you, the ones that become spiritual and are aware are the ones that have gone through hell, even if we don't remember going through it, even if our minds were wiped and things. Those of us who are spiritual and who are awakened have gone through hell. And now we come out into knowing what heaven really is and what is more appealing to us, what we know is right. But we've always followed what was right, and yet we were trying to fit in with everybody, thinking that's the way it worked, thinking that there's no perfection in any of us, and that this is a wicked world. And so we were taught the world is wicked, so people started becoming wicked, because that was the belief that was taught. So those in those systems that were taught that the world is wicked and that people are going to become more wicked, they ended up making the world become wicked by their approach and focusing that people are wicked. And then those people ended up being directed to that wickedness that they considered wicked, thinking that they're evil and making them seem evil when they weren't. They're just doing what they feel they want for their life path, what they think is necessary for their control. But then those people that thought those things, they didn't realize that the agreements of their religions and things were part of that control agreements. But they justify that they're trying to fit in so that they act like they're good bad guys with them so that they're not affected as much, or so that they can. It's a psychological damaging system that we need to just forgive, heal, and manifest our desired life. So again, you can call me. I'm all about love and peace and focus more than I ever have. These other things were just something I learned that it has happened, but we don't need to worry about it happening again when we focus together and just meditate together rather than talking about all that other. And we don't need to worry if it gets brought up or gets told. We just need to just acknowledge what it is we're looking for and what we're wanting, and help each other with what we're wanting, and freely. So I do it freely, where you can call me. You can call me 801-499-4494. That's my cell. You can text me and comment if you can't get through, because I do block calls and I record everything for my safety and anybody that talks to me as a minister and as an individual. And then of energy, science, healing, focus that I feel I can do, that we all can do. But it just allows me to do that with people, credentially wise. So then also, you can do other things too, where you can focus on things you feel is important to you by belief. So just get a hold of me. My phone number, again, is 801-499-4494. My email is dervidsamuel@gmail.com. You can also go to Twitter @DervidSamuel and find me there. You can find Samuel Stephen Dervids on Facebook. You can find My Alien Perceptions of Possible Truth site on Facebook. And you can find a page of Samuel Stephen Dervids on Facebook that is for my my Samuel Loomis site of Why I Left the Church, but it also may have this connected information for my book as well on there, because this is a big deal. Yes, these recordings are very long, and they have been very long, but there's a purpose for them. And so be patient with them if you can, but if you don't want to keep listening to all these long recordings, because it is a lot to listen to, you can talk to me and you can call me and we can just do that instead. Okay? So you don't have to listen to all of those things, but you might learn something from it when you have time. So there might be something in it where you misinterpret me when you talk to me, and that the video recordings of the book will explain to you. And just to be clear, I'm not part of any religion or faith other than my own belief in healing, belief that I feel I was called to do, that we all are. But I was told specifically that I should let people know about it because I realize it works. And I experienced it, and I should tell other people so that others who have struggled similar to me or worse can have the chance and knowledge to heal and to get out of these controlled slavery programs that have been put in place before, but now are breaking down. I've noticed it. I felt it. People have felt peace. We've woken up more. We woke up more. And we're being led by the hand by Metatron and others, helping us get into the 5-dimensional form of way. So I really like focusing on that and awareness on that. It's a better understanding focus to me. Doesn't mean I agree with maybe all of their philosophies of belief, but I like the peaceful, that anybody that wants to be good will be good and we'll all be fine. So Metatron is a big deal to me. So, and so is Christ, and so is Buddha, and so is others who are said to be good beings. It doesn't mean that they're amazingly better than all of us. They're just forms that have taught us good things that they might have even been misquoted, and there's better things than they said, or the things that sound good weren't what they meant to buy. And so they weren't as perfect as they were portrayed as. But they are good beings because they want to be, if that's what they want. And I know that Christ is one that wanted to. And I know that others did too, and they are now that form connection because they chose to. So they are good because they taught peaceful stuff, and they taught how to be more balanced and aware, and your nirvana and this power of the best realm that fits for us. So we're good. So I appreciate all of you. Everything is working out the direction you want it to. I bless you, I bless you, I bless you. We're all doing better. We're all becoming more. And so there you go. And so your desired life has already happened. It's already happened. It's already happened. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done. Now, now, now. You are blessed. For those that desire and accept this, your life is now real. And the more times you think this way and do this way, the more it will bring into your life. So my name is Samuel Durbridge. I thank you for being here on my channel. If you want to subscribe to any future videos I might do, press the notification bell as well, and so that you can get the notification. Or just keep check my channel once in a while. But I'm putting this out there. I'll make sure that I let it known on Twitter. I'll let it known on all these different places I mentioned I would, so that everybody knows. I'll also bring it up on my Samuel Loomis channel that I finished it, and then I put that on there, and that it's out there for those that want that. I just heard a thank you just now, spiritually feeling like someone said thank you, even if they accidentally felt that it came of the vibration of thank you or of appreciation. And so I know beings are appreciating, or other people are appreciating, that I'm putting it on these two separate posting places, and so they already see me as if I've already done it, and that's how we should look at each other, as is that we've already achieved it, without fear, without concern that we haven't, seeing us as already achieving the goal we've wanted. So again, I say this to you: it's already happened. It's already happened. It's already happened. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done. Now, 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 for all that you wish and have hoped for is already happened. Now, now, now. Already done. Okay, there you go. So take care. Bless you all. Put some links down below so that you can be aware of it. But I bless you all, and have a good day and a good life of your desired life now. Now, now.